I could not imagine fucking a monkey. That would be hard. That'd be
Really?
really.
I thought you'd be down.
What if it was? Well, if you're gonna have to have sex with one animal, which animal are you gonna have sex with?
Probably, I don't know. It'd probably be like a dog or like a fucking like a snake or something.
A snake.
Yeah,
That's an
well,
interesting choice. That wouldn't have been on my list.
a snake you can fucking stretch it like a big ass like fleshlight, and you just you stick your dick inside of it.
Which
Like,
end?
I guess it looks the
mouth.
least like an animal.
You stick your dick in the snake's mouth.
Yeah, I mean it might bite you, but don't get a venomous snake, and it just like you stretch it out so it can fit your dick in there, and then it just goes large. But if it couldn't be a reptile, probably be just like a no, not a dog, probably be like a pig or something, because pigs are like really intelligent animals, so they would know what's going on, and they could like if they like it, they can just work on it.
Have you ever seen that video of the pig fucking the chick?
No.
No, I don't want to see that.
Wait, what is it?
It's a video of a pig fucking a chick. It's been over the internet for decades.
Kyle uploaded it. Yeah.
It's over on my YouTube channel. It's private and
I
everything.
recognize that room.
Yeah, no, it's they're in a barn, and the chick's like on her hands and knees naked, and the pig's mounting her, fucking her. And I learned in agricultural class, that pigs' penises are actually shaped like a corkscrew, like they're all spirally and crazy. And he's he's giving her a good rogering in this video, and it's not a lot of fun to watch. It's pretty bizarre, but I absolutely have seen that.
Would you pick pig? Is that what you're saying, Kyle?
Absolutely not. Of course it depends. Am I getting fucked by the animal, or am I fucking the animal?
Of course not.
You're fucking
of
the
course.
animal.
Yeah. Well, if I'm fucking an animal, I think you want to go. Look, the tried and true goat. The Arab world has spoken. The goat is your way to go. Apparently, they're readily available. They have roughly human-sized vaginas. I mean, if you fuck a horse or a cow, like, they're always shitting
Hot
on their
dog in
own
the hallway,
pussies,
too.
and it's all gross back there.
The goat could like fucking use its horn, like hit your ball
sure
sack
as
or
heck.
something.
You put his head in one of those lock gates. The head goes through and
Like
pull
they
the
put
thing.
pilgrims in.
Pilgrims, huh?
The
Oh, that's a stock.
Yes.
Stockade,
Yeah. I made that was my class project in like 5th grade. I made a stockade.
You still have that next to your sex swing?
No. I kept it for a long time. It was really cool. It was so fucking bullshit, though. Let me tell you what happened. I don't know if this is a good story or not, but me and my dad made my stockade, right? We used 2x6s and 4x4 posts, and we painted it, and it was okay. Okay, it had like door hinges to make the thing go. And, we sized it for me because I was doing the project and I was in the stockade talking about stockades. It was a great thing. Heather Stone, who was in a wheelchair, her daddy made her one that looked like he hired a team of fucking carpenters to make. You could have put someone in this thing for real. It looked like a legitimate stockade. It was this thick black wood that looked old-timey. It was big enough to put a grown man in. And they show up in fucking class with this thing and totally upstage me. I was livid.
Did you feel like a bitch?
Such the bitch. But it was like, that chick can't even get herself to the bathroom. You're telling me she constructed that fucking 200-pound stockade? Horse shit, Dr.
And nobody
Stone.
can call her on
Horse
it because you can't call out a
I
crippled girl.
called her on it. And I also called her on the fact that she had those rotten teeth, even though her daddy was a dentist. What was up with that, Dr. Stone? You couldn't fix those rotten shit-mouth teeth your daughter had?
What was her
Your dad
disability?
was a
Why was she in a
dentist.
wheelchair?
Arthritis.
Maybe that impacted her ability to
Yeah,
brush.
she
or
sounds like a
floss.
real terror. The last thing you'd want to give a girl with horrible teeth, with a dentist for a dad, and crippled, useless legs is the joy of winning a menial competition. She doesn't
What about
need
my
it.
feelings?
Fuck her. What about my feelings? Kyle, you could go, prance around meadows and stuff. You have legs that work.
We learned our lesson from that day. When it was solar oven time, the whole family chipped in. We made I showed up to school with a solar oven that was capable of cooking a whole goddamn pizza. Everybody else is sitting around theirs wouldn't work. Mine had this big locking glass lid on it. I'm over the, aluminum foil and insulation on the inside. You could boil water in my fucking solar oven. It was outrageous.
I'm
Crippled rotten teeth, bitch.
Hey, so I want to ask Kyle a question, dude. Why did you stop making videos of you shooting shit?
A lot of reasons, right?
Just, I'm curious. I loved watching you blow shit up. I thought it was fucking cool.
Oh, yeah,
overhead's crazy for one thing. Like the overhead for making one of the videos, and now with YouTube monetization, demonetization, that makes it real hard. I've always had like rules and regulations imposed on me that no other like gun YouTube channel had imposed on them with the licensing that I had to have. So like if Arnold Schwarzenegger is making another Terminator movie, they don't say, "Hey Arnold, you need a federal explosives license." He's like, "Oh, we've got the guy. He comes and he's got the license, and I shoot the fake gun." He doesn't need a fucking license, but they tell me that I do, and so there's just years of licensing that I've been going through to try to like get enough license to be able to do the kind of videos that I want to make, because I don't want to make shitty videos. Like I like blowing up cars that are 40 yards away from me and having shrapnel flying around, and you can't do that without an explosive license. And so yeah, bunch of reasons.
What if you just uploaded the video without getting the license? You just
You're getting
bought
legal
the shit.
trouble. You're getting like serious legal trouble. Like they could come after me for
Would they actually though? Like they have
Yeah.
better shit to do.
No, they don't. Yeah, they absolutely. See, that's what I'm talking about with them, like zeroing in on me when they don't other YouTubers. Like I've been warned by like federal agencies and like district attorneys and stuff that like don't do this or we'll come and get you. You know, like so they're very serious about it. So just can't. But I have some plans for next year that are going to be pretty interesting.
Where do you even buy like a fucking RPG or like a big ass tank or some shit? Like where do you get that?
It depends on what you're talking about. So like I've never done an RPG. I've got a law rocket launcher that shoots training rounds. They're 37 millimeter law rockets with a little bit of explosive in them. I got that from a collector. The rockets are hard to find, but I know one of the few guys in the country that has a supply of them. They're $250 a shot. I've shot 4 of them before. I think it's pretty fucking expensive. With a tank though, the laws around tanks are interesting. Like if the tank doesn't have a live firing cannon in it, then it's just a vehicle, right? It's just a big car or a big truck. So, there's collectors, these millionaire dudes who are like aficionados, collectors of World War II stuff. And, like I said, they're millionaires. So they just collect tanks. Most of them don't have live firing tanks, but I know a guy who has live firing tanks. And to do that, first you have to have enough money to buy like a $300,000 Sherman tank or whatever from Easy 8. And then you have to get yourself that license that I'm talking about. And then you have to get another license, a Type 10 manufacturer of destructive devices license, which is very difficult to get. I've had one. And so then you have to make that tank a live breach. You have to rebuild, because you can't just go buy a new cannon for a tank. You have to have an engineer come in who's an expert at this sort of thing and fabricate a cannon for you. And then you have to produce your own explosive shells, which requires both the Type 10 and the federal explosive license in conjunction, working together. So a lot of hoops to jump through.
That sounds like way too complicated.
A lot easier to just go out on the street and be like, all right, we got some hobos here. We're going to pay them to eat hot peppers. So
I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, I've shot guns on my stream illegally before. Like, we'll just shoot guns like in a park somewhere, and nobody gives a shit. Like, I've never gotten like shit for that. So
yeah, maybe don't roll those dice again.
I've like shot fireworks like off like roofs and shit, like in the middle of the street and shit. Like, I don't know, nobody seems to care. But I guess it's different. Like, I'm not using a tank blowing a car up, but
yeah. Tanks are fun because it's like I liked the History Channel growing up as a kid, like before it became Rednecks and Aliens or whatever the fuck it is now. Yeah. So like I'm really interested in like World War II history and like to be able to like get down into one of those World War II tanks and like it's all the same way it was for like those poor fucking guys that went off and fought the Nazis. And it's just, holy shit, this is all like the same way it was back then. Like I got in a Russian armored personnel carrier and the gauges glow in the dark. And today they use an element called tritium to make things light up like that, or they just use electronics or something like that, or they use fiber optics and stuff to light up the gauges. Back then they used radium, which is a radioactive element that's active. It's so when I'm looking at the gauges of this armored personnel carrier glowing in the dark while I'm in it all shut up with the hatch closed, it's glowing like Homer Simpson style with radiation. So like, I don't know. That's some of my favorite shit that I've done. It's like gotten down into pieces of history like that.
Yeah, that's cool, man.